Hello comrades and welcome to a brand new Let's Play. Well, not really brand new, but a Let's Play of Command of the Great War. Specifically, a brand new Let's Play of a not so new game, Command of the Great War. As it says in the title, it's a strategy game about World War One. I think it's one of the best strategy games about World War One I've played, and it's one of the more enjoyable games I have played in general. So we'll be taking 1914, the Great War, we'll be playing with the Central Powers. Mostly because I finished recently an Entente Allies run in total victory. um, I am quite experienced at this game. I will be playing balanced because I hate privileged. I hate giving the AI basically cheats. Oh, they can make more enemies and they have an economy that cannot be affected, blah blah blah. And I do think balance is difficult enough that you can lose it if you're not careful, but at the same time it's an equal, well, it's balanced. The AI strength is balanced. You're not buffed, he's not handicapped. It's everybody gets the same historical resources. We'll also be starting in 1914. The game ends in, well, historically 1918, end of 1918. We can choose all of these if we so desire. I want to start from the beginning because it's more fun, you have more time to do anything. So let's begin with the Central Powers. Also, I like it because lately I've started to have a dislike for playing Axis in World War II. I just don't like the Axis anymore. It's boring. Anyway, at least in World War One, there are no bad guys, or more importantly, or more specifically, there are no good guys. Everybody is a bad guy. The French, Russian, and English colon powers are still bad guys. The German and Austro-Hungarian Central Powers are still bad guys. If anything, the Germans are the least bad guys of the lot because they haven't had the chance to colonize as much and suppress as many colonial as many people in the colonies. So they're the only one technically fighting for their existence. Well, France as well, but you know, everybody hates the Germans and stuff like that. So the least bad guys of all of these are the Germans, and then the Germans do some really bad guy stuff. So yeah, everybody's the bad guy. We don't have any good guys. Let's start.
Summer 1914. With great jubilation and enthusiasm, armies across Europe are mobilizing for war. Everyone is optimistic about a swift victory to be achieved by Christmas. War breaks out when the Austro-Hungarian Empire invades the Kingdom of Serbia. The Russian Tsar immediately vows support for his Balkan ally, while Germany in turn joins Austria as the Central Powers. For a generation, Europe has been an armed powder keg, saved from open conflict by an intricate web of treaties and alliances. The diplomatic arrangements have kept the peace, but the mix of imperial colonialism and age-old national feuds pushed tensions to breaking point. The alliances to prevent war just cause it to spread faster. In this age of mighty empires, this will surely be the greatest war the world has ever seen.
So
The
far.
First true world war. Through mass conscription, millions will be called to arms. Industrialization produces weapons, guns, and shells at a rate never seen before. Death and destruction can now be achieved at an unprecedented scale. How will the tactics and strategies from the 19th century uphold in this new age?
They won't because goddamn
How will
World
the
War One
face of
was
Europe change after concluding this great war?
a really evolutionary thing. It just went from line tactics to trench warfare and then to combined arms warfare, which we still use today. Anyway, Let us begin. Unless the game crashes. It might crash occasionally. It's fine.
The
Totally safe.
Serbian enemy is ill-equipped but battle-hardened from the Balkan Wars and has taken up positions in mountainous terrain. While our Austrian army has numeric superiority, reinforcements will soon be needed in the east to meet the threat of a Russian invasion. Germany is expected to begin an attack on France very soon. Both nations are gathering forces near their mutual border. But the Russian Empire has access to Germany is expected to begin an attack on France very soon. Both nations are gathering forces near their mutual border. But the Germans intend to bypass enemy positions by sweeping through Belgium. The Russian Empire has access to huge manpower reserves, but its mobilization is expected to be slow. Even so, fresh German and Austrian armies will soon be required on the Eastern Front. The Central Powers are thus aiming for a quick victory in Serbia and France, so that they can turn their attention to Russia. Paris for lunch, with dinner in St. Petersburg.
Dinner in St. Petersburg. Yeah, we're not gonna do Paris for lunch. We're gonna do St. Petersburg for lunch. 1916 probably. But let's begin. We are gonna be playing with all the Axis powers. The caveat is Axis powers, Central powers. The caveat is, of course, this is the map, and you get the Central powers when they join the war. So yes, we'll eventually get Bulgaria, maybe. But we don't get them from the start. We also start only with Austro-Hungary. Same time, the game is a turn-based strategy game, so it is not a real-time strategy like Hearts of Iron, for example. It's also a bit reduced in size. I mean, this is the front, which is gonna give us some problems on the French and Belgian borders. And when we get there, for now, we have to, well, look at the map. This is the entire map. We have a bit of North America in Canada. Nothing up there. Towns are really important. Villages, cities are really important because you need them to supply your troops. So, if for example I cut all of these guys off, I surround them from one of the towns, they will run out of supplies, and if they're out of supplies, they really have almost no staying power. They die really fast and do a lot less damage. Anyway, we have selection. I do like the sprite art. These things will actually change depending on technology. Since it's shitty 1914, everybody's carrying rifles. And the only infantry that will have level 2, upgrades level 2, is gonna be Germany. Right, I need some production. You'll see here, these are the production points. That's what we'll use to build units as well as build research stations. The moment we can only do this. The artillery, naval technology, airplane technology, and vehicle technology will increase later. I kind of want to focus on combat effects, base defense, anti-air, knee, barbed entrenchment level, maybe. But no, I want base defense. First, we'll focus on that. I can also buy one research rep. I can't because it costs me 45 production points. Boo. Manpower. This is important as well. Ammunition. This is also important. So this is the resource tab. It's gonna get a lot more, well, not complicated, more options later on. Also have diplomacy. It's basically pointless. I mean, you can kind of look at this and say, oh, the bar is almost full. You can declare war on them. When the bar is full, they'll have a chance to join the war on your side or against you if the bar is not full. It's basically pointless to look at that. It's just, interesting. Management is the second most important tab. First one is production, management is the second, third one is research. Management allows you to do stuff like 1. Build more ammunition production factories. We're currently getting 5 ammunition per turn. One factory adds +1. So if we buy one factory, it's going to give us 6 ammunition per turn. You'll need a lot of ammo. At the same time, This will give us more railroad capacity. Each turn, we get to move 1 unit by rail, by trains, depending on how much railroad capacity we have. At 1 railroad capacity, we can move 1 unit per turn. It basically allows you to move troops a lot faster than they would on their own feet. You also have expand transport capacity, the same as railroad, but with boats you can only transport so many units at the same time as you have transport capacity. Unfortunately, we need troops. Garrison are decent defensive troops, but they kinda suck. They're basically stopgap, they're cheaper, they can be produced in 2 turns, they cost 2 upkeep, 2 production points as upkeep, as well as 5 manpower. Infantry is your infantry brigades. This is the main force of your army. They fight the best, they do the most damage, they take the least damage, they entrench the most. They're obviously twice as powerful as a garrison. Why would you build garrisons as opposed to an infantry division? In case you have a gigantic large border with Russia. That's why you'll build a garrison. We're not gonna do that. We're not gonna focus on covering the entire front, at least in the eastern. At least against Russia, the eastern front. We're gonna focus on having solid units that can get the job done. The job being destroying the enemy, or at least surrounding it to destroy the enemy. Cavalry is also interesting, especially on the eastern front, but we need infantry. Artillery is mediocre at the start. More importantly, it's very good once trenches really start happening, and you do get your troops in trench. Should be one of these. Not sure which one. 1.6 ground attack, air attack. Somewhere they have an entrenchment value. How much entrenchment they do each turn. If you don't move them from a spot, as you see here, they will entrench. Entrench units take a lot less damage. It's problematic. Most of these units we will not be building. Well, half of them, or not in many numbers. What we need is infantry. We need good line holders, and yeah, 2 infantry, that's it. That's all we can do. They also come at 4 turns. But once they're there, they will survive a lot easier and a lot longer than the garrisons, and they'll do better. Okay, so that's Serbia. We don't like Serbia, we need to fight it. The problem is, this terrain sucks. They're in rough terrain, which gives them bonuses. Defender bonus, terrain entrenchment factor. Yeah. So they have this superior position. Now, ideally, I kind of want to move some of these to cut the railroad here. That way I can move troops by rail eventually, but I don't want to lose the town. If you lose the town, you lose points. As you can see, this number, all this, if you press space, tells you how many production points this city produces. They can lose that production number if they get bombarded, or obviously if the enemy captures it, you lose it and the enemy gets it. We have shitty production and we need to keep it because we will get some production power, I guess, points from colonies. Well, Austro-Hungary doesn't have colonies, and Germany, yes, it has some colonies. They will get blockaded by the British and the French. So we need to keep these towns and get more. Now, I think I'll move you here, just so you know. I'll move the infantry here. I'll move this here. Think I want to go around here, but again, because we don't have roads, we don't have rail, it's gonna be harder to go around them. Besides, we need to take Belgrade as well. 1-1. There's no point in attacking until I think. I'm not sure where I want to go. Really, I'm not sure where I want to go. If I go through here, yeah, sure, I'll find an opening. But again, as you can see, these are hexes. All of these guys can attack me there, and I believe they have some infantry here as well. Not good. Alright, go here for now if you want to expand over there. Definitely need to kill these guys as well, so I can use this railroad. It's cut over there. I'm gonna need troops. Enemy troops. Yeah, damn. Really? Why can't you go there? Alright. The caveat with the railroad, you can't stop trains outside of towns. So you can only move from one town, or a hex around it, to another town, or a hex around it. Which is why I can't go there, I can only go there. Alright, the cavalry... I mean, maybe it's gonna help us. I need the airplanes here just so I can scout what the hell is happening here. Yeah. The Serbs have troops, and I forgot it. I should have moved the artillery. One more thing about ammo. One artillery barrage, so one attack per turn, costs 10 ammunition, so it's a lot of ammo you're expending. I may have fucked up already by not moving my artillery first by rail, because you need 1 turn to step up the artillery, so you can't move it and attack with it. Unlike troops, which you can move and attack with them. And technically this one is outside. It's not fortified, still in a rough position, but I can probably deal some damage to it. So, it's harder to see down here. This is the damage I will do. Theoretically, this is the damage I will take in a turn. It's all so random. So, water, weather, snow, really? So, yeah, this is a good idea of how well you'll do and how much damage you'll take in a turn. It's not exact science. You will do more or less, and take more or less. Okay. The reason we attack now is because we need to do some damage. We're doing the attack, so it will help a lot if we destroy or at least exhaust one of their forces. I'm gonna have to move you. I am gonna have to move you. I'm gonna have to move you as well. Alright, so we're gonna put one of our infantry brigades there, this corps here, and basically our front line against Russia is gonna be here-ish and Krakow. I need to keep this railroad, again, just to annoy the Russians so they can't move troops down this line. They need to go around. There is a distance, there is a limit to how much and how far you can move stuff by rail, and this should affect it. Not exactly sure. Anyway, that's us. These are our boats. This is our submarine. Our submarine is gonna go here and go. Nobody goes through. Oh, technically I could maybe... Oh, by the way. Artillery, aviation, bombers and zeppelins, or dirigibles, as well as boats, use ammo to fire. -1, so... Not sure why it's there, but there you go. So, keep in mind, yes, actually boats are pretty ammo efficient compared to artillery, but they don't do as much damage, and you can lose track of how much ammo you're using. This is an armor cruiser, it's kinda shit. This is a pre-dreadnought battleship, it's kinda shit. And this is a dreadnought, basically the battleship, or what the battleship will become. They're the best units. You lose morale if this goes down. They're the biggest thing you have. Obviously, you don't want to lose them. You also get serious defensive bonuses in port. So, for the most part, you are safe in ports, which is where we're gonna keep most of our navies, because, you know, France, England, and later traitorous Italy, who had a treaty with us, will overwhelm us at sea.